So I made a video the other day touching on the jump in commander damage from just 3 stars to 4 stars and how big of a difference that actually makes. And I'm going to talk about that a bit more generally, just in terms of formations and how you want to be approaching setting up your commanders. So long term, you really want all awakened commanders in your lineup. If you have something like I don't know, like a gold Sonara or a gold Jamie, a gold Rhea, they give good stats obviously, but the commander damage you will lose by not having awakened alternatives is way too much to justify the stats, especially if, I mean, the stats are fairly comparable. Like Rhea here, these are good obviously, but even like a 3-star Haley with 66% inf attack is somewhat comparable, and then you'll have the bonus commander damage, which I'll get into now. So an unawakened commander like that, or a 0 or a 1-star awakened commander, will only cast their actives twice in a fight. They will cast it at 16 seconds and 31 seconds. So their Enzo in this report from GoTWiC there is 0 stars. So it'll be 16 there as I've shown, and it'll be 31 there. And then the fight will time out before they can get a third one off. And that will be at 0 stars and 1 stars. If it's 4 stars, it will be 11 seconds, 21 seconds, and 30 and 40. So 11, 21, 30 at the bottom, and 40. So it's 4 rotations there. So that's double the amount of active castings. And you see the amount of kills these are getting. That is a lot of lost damage. Like, people give Annie's 4-star a lot of credit here. It kills 5,000. But Annie's active itself kills over double that. So you're effectively getting, like, in this context at least, 4 to 5 castings of an Annie 4-star just from going to like 0 to 4 stars from commander damage alone. Which, when you put it in context like that, is quite a lot. And then 2 or 3 stars will cast the active 3 times in a fight. That will be cast at 14 seconds, 27, and then 39. It's the second one. And it just gets this last one in before the fight ends. So when you actually think that through, that is such a huge amount of damage that is coming from commander abilities. Obviously the damage itself on the awakening goes up, and I feel like that maybe reads a little bit more sexily than the cooldown reduction does until you actually understand how it works in reports. So to put into a bit better context, say the cooldown reduction didn't exist from 3 to 4 stars. Say it was just active damage increase instead. So you get an extra casting of the ability off. You go to from 3 to 4. So that's basically 33% more damage from active abilities there. So if you actually do the maths on that, it would be, I mean, it's a max, it's 260% there. So it would be 260 times 0.33. So if it had no cooldown reduction and was just active damage increase instead, it would actually be an 85.8% increase. Which, if it said that instead of 3 seconds cooldown reduction, I think people would jump at a bit more, because I mean, it's higher than any of the jumps there. It's just a bit hidden in its effectiveness. So that cooldown reduction is absolutely huge, and I think in every formation you go for in PvP, on your wall, in solo attacks, in rallies, you really want at minimum everything being 2 stars, just for the cooldown reduction, if nothing else, because it will add 50% damage just from going to 0 to 2 stars with the active abilities, because it will just have another casting, from 2 castings to 3, and then if you can get everything to 4 long term, it will go from 2 active castings to 4 active castings, and you are doubling and some, because it actually increases the damage they do themselves, your commander damage in combat, which makes such a big difference in the current state of the game. They're continuously pushing more and more buffs to commander damage too. There is the Legion Dragon skill, which increases it now. You have like Layla's synergy with female commanders, Arya's synergy with cooldown reduction. There's castle skins with commander damage being added to them, stuff like that. So the way the game is going, you really want to put a lot of emphasis on commander damage. So you really want to be moving to running all awakened commanders at all times, if at all possible. And that's why it's most beneficial to heavily invest in total attack commanders, because you can just run them in every formation. You don't have to, like, if you invest tokens into something like Andrea, she will only ever be useful for Imp Front realistically. So if there was an Awakening reset right now, I would take all the tokens out of Andrea and Lats. I would just have 4-star Annie, 4-star Julian, 4-star Layla, and nothing else. I don't think I could afford anything else. But I'd just run them, and then Arya and Seg, and that could go in every single formation, no matter what. And it would have all 5 commanders doing 4 actives every single fight, and you'll just gain so much damage in combat through that.